Hello dear students, I am Dr. Chandrakala HT. In this video, under the transport layer, I'll be teaching you the differences between TCP and UDP protocols of the transport layer, and also the various port numbers which are used on transport layer. Coming to the differences between TCP and UDP, TCP establishes a virtual circuit before transmitting the data, whereas UDP transmits the data directly to the destination computer without verifying whether the receiver is ready to receive or not. So it will never establish any virtual circuit to the receiver. It will start sending the packet without checking the status of the receiver, whereas TCP is not that case. TCP first communicates to the receiver and checks whether the receiver is ready to receive the data or not. If the receiver is currently busy, it will wait for it. Once it becomes free, the receiver will intimate the sender TCP. Both of them will establish a handshake and establish a virtual circuit. They send and receive data and then close the connection, whereas all this is absent in UDP. So UDP will randomly start sending the data, assuming that receiver is up and ready to receive. When it comes to the connection type used, TCP is a connection oriented protocol. It will never send the data before establishing a connection. Whereas UDP is a connectionless protocol, it will never establish a proper virtual connection to the receiver before it sends the data. When I talk about speed, the speed of TCP is low. The data transmission rate using TCP is quite low because it has to wait till the receiver is ready to receive the data, and it has to establish a virtual connection, seeing the communication channel availability. Only then it can transmit the data. So a lot of time is wasted in establishing the connection in case of TCP. Hence the speed is low. Whereas in case of UDP, the transmission speed is high because connection establishment phase itself is absent. UDP starts to transmit the data as soon as it receives from the upper layer. The TCP protocol is a reliable protocol because it will establish a connection to the receiver and then transmit the data, and it can give an assurance that the data will be surely received by the receiver. Whereas UDP is a highly unreliable protocol. It will never assure whether the receiver will receive the data correctly or not. It will simply focus on transmitting the data at high speed. The header size of TCP is 20 bytes, whereas the header size of UDP is 8 bytes long. And acknowledgement concept is present in TCP, whereas it's absent in UDP. In TCP, the sender TCP waits for an acknowledgement of the data which it has sent to the receiver. And if at all it doesn't receive the acknowledgement, it has an ability to resend the previous packet. So it assumes that the packet was lost or damaged, and hence it will resend it. So surely all the packets will be received intact at the receiver in case of TCP. Whereas in UDP, the UDP will never expect an acknowledgement from the receiver, nor it will retransmit any frame in case of any lost or damaged frames. So these are few differences between TCP and UDP, depending on the need of the networking model or the users of the network. If the users prefer security and reliability, then they can go for TCP. If they prefer speed and size of data transfer, then they can prefer UDP. So depending on their choice, any one of them can be used. Now coming to the port numbers. The port numbers are the links between the applications and the transport layer protocols. So the communication between the transport layer protocol and the applications which are running on the network, it always happens using the ports which are chosen for that particular individual session of data transmission for the applications. The transport layer has as many as 65,535 ports available. These are categorized into three different ranges of ports. The first category is well-known ports. The port numbers 0 to 1023 are called as well-known ports. Well-known ports are reserved ports and they are commonly used by protocols like HTTP, SMTP, POP3, FTP, DNS, so on. Because they are reserved, the client applications can request a connection to this particular specific ports, and the port can be associated with the transport layer service. For example, web servers will normally use port 80 for their connection. The SMTP servers make use of port 25. The second range of ports is the registered ports. Ports 1024 to 49,151 are termed as registered ports. So these ports are generally assigned to user processes and applications. And whenever user processes or application programs are installed on our computer, and if they require any network connectivity, a dedicated port can be assigned to those particular applications. Say, for example, gaming softwares and messaging services, they require network connectivity. So these will communicate with the transport layer protocols on their designated ports, which are registered ports. So if at all registered ports are not assigned to any particular installed programs, they can be used as dynamic ports as well. So the third category of ports are dynamic or private ports. The port numbers 49,152 to 65,535 are dynamic ports. These ports, as the name itself suggests, can be dynamically assigned to any client applications. Whenever a client initiates a connection to some service, these ports can be used to establish a connection. For example, a user computer wants to establish a connection to Google. Then the PC IP address and port 60,200 will be combined and mapped to form a socket at the client computer, and the IP address of Google will be combined with the standard port 80 of Google to form the socket of the Google server. So a socket will be established in this form, and through this socket the user can communicate with the user PC can communicate with the Google server. So this is how the port numbers are very important in order to establish a logical connection to any network applications using the transport layer. Thank you.